Hello, everyone, and welcome to Medhedosnet Podcast, a very special episode. It is Thursday. We got some
Feedback.
feedback happening. What's
Yeah.
going on?
I think
All
it was
right.
my
Sorry
phone.
about that. It's okay.
Oops.
We got a special episode today. We are live on YouTube and Facebook and X. Like I said, it's Thursday, October 5th, 2023. I'm your host, Vic Ohanian, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Mike Balyan, where we discuss our great Armenian history, covering different eras, topics, and people. Please, if you're not subscribed to our channel, YouTube, subscribe, hit that thumbs up because it does help with the algorithm. And if you're on Facebook, just give it a like and share with friends and family. As a lot of you know, we did announce that we're putting a hold on our regular episodes for a short period of time. We're putting all of our time and energy in our community and help in any way we can to bring aid to the displaced families of Artsakh. Today, we'll be talking about the power of the Armenian global community, and our guest today is Tavit Ohanian from Hayk, from our heroes. And it's an amazing organization. We got introduced to you a long time ago, and we never got to meet until recently. And it's such a, it's a weird time as an Armenian because we've dealt with so much in the past 3 years. First with the 2020 war. And it feels like we didn't get to recover from that. And now we got hit with this one. And we wanted to do something to, help bring awareness to what's happening. I'm sure as Armenians, we all know what's going on. We don't need to give a backstory to what happened. But we do have a lot of non-Armenians who watch the show, listen to the podcast. And, I wanted to bring you on because you guys are doing such an amazing job. And you actually have boots on the ground. And you've shared some videos, which we'll show later on as well, of what's going on, helping the displaced families. But first, welcome to the show. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to be on podcasts.
We yanked his arm a little bit.
Yeah.
Values.
We're actually holding someone hostage over here. No, I'm just kidding. But you started Hike for Our Heroes right after the 2020 war, correct? During the war.
End of October.
End of October. Okay. Can you talk about that a little bit? How this idea was born? Why you put it together? So our audience can have a better understanding of what this organization is all about.
Yeah. It was during the protests and in the middle of the Artsakh war in 2020, and I was going out to all the protests, and it didn't feel like I was doing enough. And one of the things we wanted to focus on was the fundraising aspect. Besides that, everyone was getting depressed with what was going on with back home, and we were in mid-COVID too, so everywhere was locked down. The businesses were locked down, and everyone was cooped up at home. So many people lost their jobs or working from home.
Yeah.
So there was just so much pent up tension and emotions, and there was no outlet. And I come from a personal training background too at the time, and I thought maybe doing these hikes where we could go out in nature, where there was no restrictions. It's great for your physical health, mental health. We could raise funds to different initiatives, and there would be this community amongst, happening in the process of it, where like-minded people would, come, meet each other, form friendships. And honestly, much more has happened too, because there's been several people that met on a hike that ended up getting engaged and married for the first time. So, that was just a byproduct where that wasn't even the tension. But
So all you single people, come on, more hikes. Get out here.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
So at first, obviously, we didn't have a team. It was going to different organizations, different initiatives that were benefiting Armenia and Artsakh. And over time, we grew a team here in LA and in Armenia. We started doing our own projects. And as time progressed, we started doing more and more serious projects. And our focus had been with the border villages and working on the infrastructure and making, the people's quality of life better, giving them more livelihood, more opportunities. The reason for this was to grow the population.
Yeah.
If people had to walk, for example, like 5 kilometers for water,
Yeah.
for clean water, or electricity and gas wasn't good, or there was enough jobs, how many people would be willing to live there or move there? And the more these communities grow, the more security we'll have with a bigger population,
Yeah.
with more infrastructure. So that was kind of one of the reasoning, the logic behind why our focus was with the border villages, Armenia, Artsakh. So yeah, that's how it kind of started.
Yeah.
And it just grew from there. And
Now, you guys have done a lot of hikes, right? In the past 3 years.
we've done at least over 130, 140 hikes since
Wow.
October 2020. And that's
Yeah.
just with the group itself.
Yeah, and you were telling me you guys have from like 50 to 100 people showing up on these hikes. Depending
That's
on,
wild, man.
yeah, that's amazing. I mean, talk about bringing the community together, especially young people. And like you said, people met there, got married.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, what better way? Back then the church was kind of in a way, where people got to meet and stuff. And this is a good way to bring the young community together. Plus, it's healthy. You get to exercise. Hiking. I love hiking. I've told you that, and it's a way of just kind of releasing that whatever you're going through. It could be anger, energy, whatever it is.
Beyond that,
Stress.
It's a comfortable environment for
Yeah.
people to just
Yeah.
have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like when you're walking, it's like a mundane thing.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like, okay, like who can I talk to? Like,
Yeah.
if you're
So,
by your,
I imagine you have a group of 100 people and everybody's like talking, walking. Next thing you know, it could be 5-mile hike and you're there.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, how did that happen? It's the best thing.
And that's the beauty of it with the difficult hikes.
Yeah.
There's people that complain during the hike.
Yeah.
if there's one thing I've learned in this world, it's like you can't satisfy 100% everybody. Like
Yeah.
this is just, but it's okay. They got through it though, right?
Yeah.
They got through it.
By that many people, there's music in the background, people are talking. You don't even realize like you said, you're already at the end of the hike.
But it's like, I mean, have you guys watched the Tour de France? Right? Like, when you have, you have that big group of bicyclists, like, I don't know, they have a name for it, whatever. Like, they end up going together really long with minimal effort, right? It's kind of the same thing with this. It's like you have that many people, even if you're not fit, let's say,
Yeah.
and you've got that to climb, you're going to do it just because you're around everyone else.
Not just that, people will help you.
Well,
Yeah.
well, beyond that, it's just like you don't think about you're going to get tired.
Yeah.
You just go.
No, I think it's a great idea, and Hike for Our Heroes, and you guys have been responsible with a lot of the events, especially summertime. You guys do the Vartavar events in Verdugo Park in Glendale, which I've been to. Well, last year, this year I was in Armenia. I didn't get to visit, but and it was amazing. I mean, my kids loved it. I mean, the fire trucks were there, and they had such a great time watering each other, and then and you guys did it this year as well. And I'm hoping you're going to continue doing this every summer. So those of you who have been to Verdugo Park for that event, this is the man behind it. So, and you guys have an amazing crew that works together, and here and in Armenia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a great team. Also, shout out to the Glendale firefighters because they've been very helpful with
Yeah.
that event.
I can
specifically.
imagine.
Yeah. They're amazing guys.
Ask, like, when you guys started this, right? The Vartavar events, how difficult or what kind of, were there any challenges that you had to face to kind of put this together, considering their city related things and whatnot, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, 2021, the first one that we did, that was the issues because we were in a drought.
yeah.
So they're like, "What do you mean you're gonna
I'll
throw
reserve
water?
reserve my opinions, but okay.
What do you mean you're gonna throw water at each other?" So that was so there was a little hurdles here and there, and then with the permitting and stuff we wanted to do, but everything worked out. And each year, like with all our events, we're pretty tough on ourselves. We always want to raise the bar, in every possible way.
Yeah.
We listen to all the constructive criticism and what could we do to make it better, the quality better, the experience better. And with Vatavar, like just having that mesh of, you know, what it's for with the water aspect, having local businesses involved, having some music and entertainment where, you know, people are dancing, and something where it welcomes the non-Armenians too, so they experience it with us and build those connections in the community where kind of becomes more of a allies, you know? When we don't have those relationships, how can we expect someone to speak up on our cause?
Absolutely.
Of course. You know, I mean, I hope you guys continues and hopefully maybe one day it turns into a big festival, you know, where it's you have live bands, you know, like I said, get the community involved, get non-Armenians involved.
Get us to do a live podcast, maybe.
You know, so many things. But going back to the hike, I want to mention, so we've posted this on Instagram as well. We are joining Hike for Our Heroes, and we're doing a hike this Sunday. Let me bring up the flyer real quick. So this is going to be at Switzer Falls. The address right there. If you guys want to join us, it'll be Sunday. We're going to meet at 9:30. And the address is actually the parking lot of Target, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's at that town center. So the Target has like a restroom, Starbucks in there. We'll be meeting there for like 30 minutes, and we could carpool, follow each other, just because once you go up Angeles Crest, service
it's
blackout.
So of course.
There's a lot of different places you could pull over and park, and different trails, just so
it's going to be a wonderful thing.
So we encourage everybody to join us. If you guys are local, please come join us. We want a good group of people. We're gonna hike this. We're gonna have a good conversation. We're gonna share thoughts, ideas, come together as Armenians. And Tavit will be talking about a lot of things that, information about what's happening, what you can do to help. Another thing we're doing is we are actually going to raffle out one of our Nejde sculptures, which you guys see over here by our mixer board. And the way it's going to be, it's raffle tickets. They're $30. If you guys, we encourage you to buy the raffle, and there's two ways. You can go on Venmo, which is at Hike for Our Heroes, or you can Zelle, which is info@hikeforourheroes.org. You guys see that on the screen. Take a screenshot if you're watching us on your phone or any mobile device. And then every time you enter, obviously, the more chances you have of winning. And then if you come to the hike, you'll get one free raffle entry as well. And then we'll announce the winner. Will we announce it during the hike, or we'll do it afterwards?
We put the time, the cutoff at midnight.
No, no, hold on. He has to come back on live.
No. We barely got him here. Barely got him here.
Man, I'm trying to raise the stakes here.
How's it going?
So again, guys, like I said, there's the Venmo information, there's the Zelle information. Go ahead and get your raffle and join us. Join us Sunday. We want to see a lot of people. I'll be there. My daughter's coming with me. Mike's gonna be there. You're gonna be there. A lot of other people are gonna be there. So it's gonna be a great event, and we might have some surprises at the same time.
Definitely.
The other thing I want to mention is, if you guys see that little QR code at the top corner of your screen, that is to donate to support our heroes. One of the main reasons we wanted Tavit on is because we've helped you guys as much as we can personally, and you guys have raised, I think it's about $150 or something $1,000 so far, but most of that is gone already because you guys have been doing some fantastic work on the ground. I mean, you have, I think, about 8 people there who are night and day working, and we'll show a video of what they're doing, and it's just amazing. I have to give it up to you guys, what you're doing, and I can't imagine the logistics of it, trying to be at these different regions, and also I'm sure there's got to be some kind of a vetting system, because unfortunately whenever you have these type of unfortunate times, that's when the scammers come out.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately the world has people like that. So it's a difficult task, and what you guys are doing is just amazing. I hats off to you guys. But again, everybody, go ahead and scan that QR code. It will take you to their Instagram page, and you'll see the donation button. You can hit that and donate whatever your heart desires. Like I said, you want to say something?
I have a question, but go ahead. Go ahead. Finish
No,
off
I was
what you're
going to
saying.
say is, like I said, we've personally donated, but what we decided to do is those of you who support us on Patreon, first of all, thank you so much. We have 17 people out of the 150,000 people that listen to us worldwide who are supporting us. We are grateful.
You had to reveal the numbers.
That's fine. But I want to thank everybody.
Thank you to you, 17 people.
17 people. And what I want to do is, for the last 6 months, it's not much, but whatever Patreon has given us, we're going to give it to you. It was a little bit less than 500, but I rounded it out, and that's a check from us to you guys, $500. These are our Patreons who help us for the show to pay for these things, equipment, and all the subscriptions to run the YouTube and this and that. But we wanted to give that to you guys from the Medhedosner side as well. So you guys are doing great work. So thank you for that.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for supporting.
No problem.
Thank you for what you do, man.
Should I announce the other thing, or you want to say something?
You can announce the other thing.
So
The other thing's kind of exciting.
Yeah,
it's more exciting than my question.
We want to announce it is because of Hayk for Our Heroes. The logo of Hayk is Hayk Nahapet. And we've been talking about doing something as far as our sculpture. So what we've decided is we're going to make an exclusive Hayk for Nahapet sculpture. And it's going to be just for the Hayk for Our Heroes organization. It's going to be a special edition. We're going to make limited amounts. It's going to look amazing. And all the profits from that sculpture that is sold is going to go to Hayk for Our Heroes.
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as that's ready, Mike's going to start working on that soon. We will announce it.
Coming up, guys.
We're going to open up the pre-orders. And like I said, the more people buy, the more those profits are going to go to you guys. We have had a conversation with our manufacturer, and they're going to give us a special discount. So, because these aren't cheap, they're expensive to make. So we want to make sure that at least good $100 goes from each sculpture to Hayk for Our Heroes. And we'll work on those numbers, but that's what we're going to do for you guys.
You don't know how excited I am for that. No, I reached out I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
We've been waiting. We've been talking about it, dude. We've been talking about it for a long time. Like, okay, when do we make this? Like, when? And then Vic would either say, "Not yet. It's not time. We got to do this. We got to do that." And then sometimes we'd get messages from people, and then we'd literally play ping pong with this. I'm not even kidding you, because then he'd switch it and he'd be like, okay, I think we might need to consider doing Hayk Nahapet. And I'm like, bro, not yet. Hold on. We got another 2 pieces we got to make. Let me think about that then.
Yeah. But see, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
we waited.
Well, unfortunately, it's not the best circumstances to do this.
Yeah.
But at least we're doing something to help you guys. And again, there's a lot happening in Armenia, and I know it's such a cluster, and I know everybody's frustrated. There's so much news coming from so many different news sources, or he said, she said, all this stuff. The number one thing we need to worry about right now is helping the displaced families from Artsakh. That is number one. Mm-hmm. Once we take care of that, then we'll worry about how to get our lines back. We will. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be my lifetime, my children's, or my grandchildren.
It'll happen
but
sooner than that.
It's going to happen. So you have to be positive. We have to learn from our mistakes. We have to learn from history. Those of us who are history buffs, we saw this coming. Unfortunately, we couldn't do anything about it. History does repeat itself, but this needs to be a very, very hard lesson for Armenians in Armenia and Armenians from Artsakh and Armenians around the world, the diaspora. We need to become a strong nation. We need to become powerful. We need to have great allies, and we need to eventually become independent.
Yeah.
So
we have to also support each other too, and help each other grow. Put each other in those positions, and
youth.
Actually build. Like
the youth needs to be educated. The next generations that's growing up, they need to understand. What happened 2 weeks ago is already history. It's in the history books. So
well, beyond that, I think, and I'm not criticizing. It's just a fact. There's a lot of youth. I mean, I can't put an age on it, but there's a lot of people who are very disconnected with their heritage.
Yes.
A lot of assimilated kids who are, let's say, born here, let's say over the last 15, 20, 25 years, are still somewhat disconnected from their heritage.
Not just kids, even adults.
Yeah, but
trust me, I know a lot of adults who are disconnected.
I agree, and I'm not trying to open up a can of worms in terms of that conversation, but there is a lot of disconnect still. Yeah. But you start seeing it every now and then, a few people here and a few people there. I'm sure you've experienced this with your adventures, right? I know him and I have. Once they kind of start understanding a few things about their culture and they kind of tap just a little taste, right? Like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden they get excited about it. I've seen it happen. So has he, and I'm sure you have too. That's kind of the goal with what everybody's trying to do. It's not a matter of trying to convince old folks to deal with things in a different way.
Yeah.
Grassroots level.
No, I agree. A lot needs to be done.
Of course.
Education.
In different ways.
So many ways. Financially, institutions have to be built, and we need to stop attacking one another. That is the downfall, or will be the downfall of us as a people. Forget about a nation. As a people, we need to be kind to one another. That's what the enemy wants. They want us to be fighting one another.
Broken and
divide and conquer.
Psychological warfare, and we're seeing it right now too with a lot of people just giving up, saying it's done, it's too late. It's not done, As long as we're alive and we're breathing, it's
never done.
No,
it's never done. So let's get back to what you guys did. The minute they attacked Artsakh, and then within 2 days, unfortunately, the Artsakh government, surrendered. And, we heard all the Azerbaijan side saying that, we want the Armenians to stay. They're going to be part of our community. They're going to have their rights, this and that. But we all know that that's BS. And, you can't, if that was the case, you can't starve people for 10 months and then tell them, oh, now we're going to give you all this. So obviously our brothers and sisters from Artsakh, they're not going to stick around. And you had this mass exodus from Artsakh into Armenia. Now, Armenian government said that they can handle up to 40,000 families. So if you do the math, that's about 160, let's say average 4 people, it's about 160,000. But it seems like from the news we're getting, the process is a lot slower. It seems like it's not really getting there. They're doing a good work, but it's not there yet. But I don't think that we should rely on the government to do this. And that's where organizations like yourself came in. I mean, right away, before even the government started, you guys had boots on the ground. And we have to give a shout out to Veterans of Armenia. I know you guys work with them. We want to give a shout out to Support Our Heroes Armenia, Ed and Vic. Amazing guys. We've had them on the show before. Support them. Who else? Did I forget someone?
I have a few.
Go ahead.
All for Armenia, Engineer Armenia, Futures Armenia, ARS. There's a lot of amazing organizations, individuals.
A lot of people doing good things.
I want to give a shout out to Sean Charchoff, Martoni, with his Lorik Fund. these are all individuals.
He left
that,
his home from
Yeah.
there. He was living there, and I follow him, and it was very. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. And so the point of this is, whoever you're comfortable with, these organizations we're mentioning. These people have boots on the ground. They're doing actual work. They're not just collecting money for future projects. This is happening right now. And like I said, from the money you guys have collected so far, more than half has been pretty much gone because you guys are over there helping out. So let's talk about when you guys, I mean, that money was collected really fast because you started a donation, right when they started attacking?
It was a couple of days before we found out they were being let out.
Yeah. So right away, you guys raised about good 100,000, I think.
The first 3 days were insane. I think we were going up 30,000 the first day, then 50,000 the second day. We got to then 70,000 by the third day, 80,000, something like that.
I know it was really fast because I looked. By the time I added it to my profile, we were already at 100,000. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, so again, like I said, right away, boots on the ground. You have 8 people over there that work with you guys. Go ahead.
We have people that live there. That's part of our teams, both teams. And then we had people from Veterans of Armenia that just got a ticket right away and immediately.
Okay. So can you talk about the experience of what happened? Kind of like talk about whatever you can say as far as, I know there's a lot of things you can't mention, but the logistics of it, how you guys started like kind of figuring out, okay, who goes where, who goes to, let's say, Sunik, or who goes to, and then the whole, like, because, obviously the Latin Quarter goes through Sunik, or Goris area. And then from there, people had to go to different regions. How did you guys work this out?
So we're collaborating with All for Armenia as well, and shout out to Hovanes. He's been on the ground there since day one as well.
Okay,
doing a lot of amazing work. So he's been out of Gornizor and Goris, and they had tents set up to give initial food to every Artsakh that was coming in, especially after what they've endured over 10-month blockade and then the full-scale attack. And so that was their main area of focus. We had one of our guys in Goris. We were getting ready in Yerevan and different regions as well, because the initial wave was all in the eastern border. Like, they weren't going straight away, so they were filling up the hotels over there. So and then after 2 days, you saw more of them coming out, more of them going to different regions. And we just wanted to be ready, because at the end of the day, as much as we would hope the government and, even the international community, like, we saw the numbers that they sent over. And if you break it down, like, US is 11.5 million, comes out to like $95 a person.
Yeah.
So imagine when you lost your home, you lost where you lived your whole life, you had to leave everything behind. You're coming to Armenia, you don't have a job, you have no income or resources.
Nothing.
So imagine you need food, you need shelter, you need a roof over your head,
Something
you
to
need
start
to provide
with.
for your kids, you need clothes. Like, how realistic is it if you just have an extra pair of clothes? You're gonna constantly wash it and reuse it.
Yeah.
So, like, how much of that money is really gonna help them get on their feet? And we don't want them to move to Russia or France, parts of Europe, America, because we want that population to grow. I don't think it's been growing, and I think there's been a slight decline even, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It has.
Well, I mean, we heard that France is offering for Artsakh families to go to France and become citizens there. I think Canada also offer. I don't know. Was it Canada or was it? I mean, other countries. I think even Lebanon or Syria. Some of them were offering it. We don't want that, guys. We don't want if the Artsakhs are going to be displaced. It's better for them to be in Armenia, and here's why. When they, you don't want to just hand them cash. I am completely against that. You want to help them to find a place, to be able to get back on their feet, find a job, or there's a lot of the Artsakhs are amazing at agriculture. Possibly give them land, and they can start farming, make a living from themselves. And what happens is, number one, they're obviously they're starting their life again in Armenia. The second thing is it's going to help the Armenian economy. And if the economy grows, then Armenia becomes powerful. So it's a domino effect. We don't want them going to France or anywhere else and become a diasporan. There's enough diasporans out there, and we have this love towards Armenia. We wish we can be there all the time. We don't want them to become us. Let them be there and help the country, and we will help as much as we can from here. But yeah, continue. So as far as you guys went and your crew started going, getting, like you said, the blankets and things like that, and then just how did you guys? Actually, the question should be, how did you guys figure out where to put people or how to get them to certain regions? Or is it just people just decided, okay, we're going to go here, or is the government telling them, okay, you go here, you go there?
To be honest, some people even just showed up certain places, like in Albovian. We're housing people at a hotel, and there's just people that just show up.
Yeah.
So
they're just driving.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's a lot of heartbreaking stories, and now that we're talking about Albovian, like one of them that we heard 2 days ago that it happened, something that honestly broke our heart too. And there's so many of these stories and different kinds. It was a family that came. They went up to the hotel. The husband was talking, saying, we're from Artsakh. We've been living in the car. We have nowhere to go. We're not even here to ask for money or food. But my wife is pregnant. She was 6 or 8 months pregnant, and they're either on their feet or they're in the car. And she's losing blood circulation in her legs. And only thing I'm asking is if she could please go inside to lay down for an hour.
Wow.
For the baby's health. The owner ends up telling one of the workers, go to my office and clear everything out. So they ended up removing the desk and everything. We put some rollover beds in there, gave them aid, and situated them in that room.
Wow.
His office that turned into a room. There's some rollover beds in the hallways. So,
wow. How do you respond to that?
How do you turn away from that too?
Yeah.
So it's it just shows.
And there's probably stories upon stories like this.
Yeah. But the Armenians in Armenia have opened their hearts. There's also some amazing stories about what people are doing. There was one in the video, there was one man who welcomed 43 people to his,
counting.
Yeah, to his house. And I guess he had kind of a large area where he can house these people. And he just opened it up, and we'll show that video.
Yeah. That on a bit.
Should we do that right now? Should we show the video and then we can kind of talk about it? Yeah. Okay. So this is something just wanted to show you guys. This is a video of what Hayk for Our Heroes is doing in Armenia. So these are some of the pictures of.
So when you see a bundle like that is when there's a day people are coming to pick it up and it's coordinated.
Hayk for Our Heroes and Veterans of Armenia organized an humanitarian assistance where we get ready to help abused and displaced families from Artsakh. Thanks for this generous donation. We are able to provide with the first necessary products, such as food, hygiene products, blankets, shoes, and pottery. And our team is ready to help as many displaced families as possible. Please continue your donations.
I mean, this was a matter of 3 days, you guys doing.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, how fast are
That
they
was
able
the
to get the
first.
supplies? Really? Yeah.
While you guys are watching this, I really, again, that QR code, scan it and donate, please.
And throughout the video, you see so many young kids
Yeah.
helping, and in this,
Օգնում
if you, you know,
Yeah.
it shows the resilience too, you know.
It's amazing how, in time of need, Armenians can unite.
հաջողություն։
This is
This is the man, right?
Papik that opened up.
Քառասունյերեք հոգի։ Օ, հիմա 43 հոգի է ստանում։
Անջան գրանցի։ Ես տղասա, փոքր տղասա։ Իդու դու փոս մարսա դումա։ Եմա։ Մեծ է փալգա ասի դուսա։
So this is in Abovian. They're having a meal. They're being provided with 3 meals a day.
And this is at that guy's house.
This is at the hotel.
Oh,
This is at the
is
hotel.
the hotel. Okay.
The hotel is providing 3 meals
Yeah.
a day. That's not an easy task.
No, of course it's not. You have staff. You have staff working on that all day long.
Վասկ մեքան շացելա, դառնալանը չի հասնում։
Այն փոքր երեխով մեծերը այնքան լվացք է կանում, որ իմ մեքենան կաղնել է, չի ուզում ուժ աշխատել։
Hayk for our heroes եւ Veterans of Armenia կազմակերպության կողմից որոշվեց, որ ձեզ տրամադրվելու է լվացքի մեքենա եւ սառնարան, քանի որ խոսել էինք ձեր կնոջ հետ, արդեն բարձ էր, որ խնդիրները շատացել են եւ տեխնիկաները էլ չեն հասցնում։
Can you
Եվ
imagine?
հուսով ենք մի քիչ կմեղմենք ձեր առօրյա հոգսերը, կկարողանաք գոնե մի քիչ թեթևացնել ձեր օրը։
Որ շնորհակալություն եկարմակցությանը, ագոհե, դեպի ոմետի եկարտասի մեզի օպերացիա։ Դրակայք ունեի։ Ապրի քաշնակայք եկարմակցությունից։
I mean, you know, 43 people, the laundry
Որով
machine.
հանել եք, մզել
Laundry,
եք,
no
կախել։
refrigerator.
Այն էլ անձրևա գալիս, չես կարող ոչ մի բան անես։
Հիմա
Ես
արդեն
շատ
նորն եք
ապետ,
ունենում։
հա, շատ ապետ, կեսապ կդնեք, կակրաս, երեխոցու շորերը նա տոպրակում է լիքն։
And it's not like they have a full
Շատ
Վաղ
Control
շատ
where
տվականն
they
կախեք,
could,
ապրեք,
you know,
շատ
lift
շատ
to the side,
ներսի։
take turns.
Շատ
Yeah.
ներսի։
Նախ ծանոթանանք
Watch this.
Կարենն է, ով միայն
Oh, yeah.
ընտանիքը Ստեփանակերտից բերել է
The
մինչև
story is
Երևան։
great.
Որ շրջանից եք եկել դուք։ Քանի տարեկան ես։ Իսկ ո՞նց որոշեցիք, որ հենց դու պետք է վարես։
Papan ասել ինքը մամային ու papayin հանել ես էլ մամային ու քույրիկներս
Իսկ Գորիսում արդեն քեզ օգնեցին, թե մինչև Երևան դու ես եկել։
գորիսում ինձ օգնել են այն պոստը անցել ենք հետո մենք ես
Որ արդեն կրակում էին, կրակոցի ձայները լսում էիք, դուք որտեղ եք եղել այդ ժամանակ։
այդ ժամանակ ես դպրոցում եմ եղել, հետո հայրիկս եկել է ինձ վերջը գնացել եմ։
Բայց լսում էիք, հա, ձայները, վախեցել էիք։
Ես չէ, բայց փոքրիկը շատ։
Արեն, Hayk for our heroes-ի ու Veterans of Armenia կազմակերպության կողմից որոշել են քեզ մի քիչ ուրախացնել, հիմա դու հեռախոս ու ականջակալներ ես նվեր ստանալու, ապրես որ այդքան ուժեղ տղա ես ու տենց մեծ գործ ես կարողացել անել։
Jonah. This right here, helping the kids. That's one thing about, these kids, they don't understand what's really happening. They're
No.
too young. All of a sudden, it's like overnight, okay, get up, you got to go. Where are we going? What's happening?
Well,
I
I
have
mean,
no idea.
Well, I mean, yeah, to your point, we've heard a lot of stories of people that went through the 92, 93, 94 affair and they were young. They didn't understand anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't really start to register to them until they hit some age of coherency, right?
Well, wow. It's so hard to take all this in. I've seen these videos and still watching it again. It's just heartbreaking. But we have to stay strong. We have to stay strong. And one of the things from as in the diaspora, you sometimes feel helpless. Like you can't you can't do anything. But here's the thing. This is proof that when you donate to the right organization, to people who actually care to what's happening, and it's not just about raising money for galas and this and that, actually putting that money you're giving to them to use and helping the people there, then you feel that sense of, hey, I did something.
Yeah.
Because the money that we gave to these people, they actually went and did something with it. Can you talk about a few of the things that are happening right now? I know you guys are helping with finding people hotels for now, temporary hotels, but there's a lot more going on. Is there anything else you can share with us that you guys are working on with Veterans of Armenia as well? I know because you guys are hand in hand together doing a lot of projects.
Everything, especially with this, we've done a lot of projects before.
Yeah.
And this is...
It's okay.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We got you.
So, we joined fully with the fundraising, our team, volunteers. We have friends. Like, one thing I actually want to say before I forget, we have a lot of people from the diaspora, and I'm not even talking about LA, that are going to Armenia to volunteer and help out. And we got, I believe it was 5 to maybe 8 from Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, yeah.
Yeah.
That are
Jesus was
flying
from
us.
Jerusalem too.
Jerusalem, yes. It worked out. It worked out perfect.
There you go.
Flying out, I believe, Saturday morning. And they're going to go for like about 3 weeks to volunteer and help us out on the ground. We got some people from the Netherlands, Italy, I believe Australia as well.
Wow.
And there's a bunch of great Armenians in Vancouver that have done a few fundraisers for us and doing some community building events as well, and even taking it to their parliament as well with what's going on in Artsakh and trying to bring up that issue.
Okay. What other is there any other projects that are happening right now besides obviously the basics of trying to get food to them, get them like blankets and beds and things like that? What else are you guys working on that you can talk about right now?
One of the things we're working on is more of a long-term solution as well.
Okay.
Because all of this is important, but this isn't a solution.
It's a band-aid.
And we need to create more homes, more communities, so the Artsakhs will stay here and they don't leave the country to go to Europe or Russia or America. So there's things we're trying to work on, the logistics, funding, and figuring out, a full plan of how to do it. One of my friends, one of the people we gave a shout out to, Charchov, is working on something like that himself. And
I think he made a post on Instagram as well.
Yeah, of kind of recreating a community to keep everyone from Martuni together. And, I want to pick his brain more and talk to him about it. I haven't yet. But that sounds like an amazing idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a bad idea because one thing is if you've been to Artsakh, I haven't, but from people that have gone and people I know that are from there, you have these different regions. Right? You have Martuni, Shushi, so forth. Right? First of all, Artsakh is not that big, so these little communities, everyone knows one another. So if, let's say, everybody from Martuni ends up in the Lori region, let's say, and they build a community there, knowing one another, supporting one another, and most of them end up doing the same type of work, which is mostly agriculture, right?
Yeah.
Then there's that comfort, right? It's like when you're traveling, you want to travel with your family, your friends, right? You don't want to go with strangers. And then do the same thing with the next region, so forth, and bring people together like that. And I think that's a great idea, but that's going to take a lot of funds.
Yeah.
When I was in Armenia, a lot of the little villages and a lot of the regions I went to, especially in the Lori regions, there is a lot of let's call it homes that are vacant. Yeah. And these homes can be purchased at a very, very inexpensive price and somewhat with a small remodel or whatever and be a home. But there's also the thing is like when you gift a home to somebody, like I feel like, that's also kind of in a way of giving somebody cash. And that's one thing, like I said, I think we've talked about this before. It's not a good idea to give people just cash like that because then you don't want them to become dependent. Then they think it's a welfare system. Then they won't work. They won't strive to be successful in life, and then the kids, same thing. And it's a trickle down effect, right? But we have to come up with some kind of a strategy, some kind of a thing where we can help them to continue their lives, to have better lives. Until we figure out what we do and how we go back,
And there's different ways to go about the housing too. You could have like a contract, and I think everyone that works on this has one, I hope. But so you keep like a percentage to the organization, so they can sell or lease it for X amount of years, and then after an X amount of years, the full ownership goes to the family. Because sometimes, and again, I hate to say it, but you give someone something like this, they could easily sell it and be like, I already kind of wanted to go somewhere else. And it kind of gives them that that ability to go start a new life somewhere else. But like you could do something for 7-10 years and then it goes to them. Or after that amount, it gives it to their youngest kid. So it kind of extends it and then they start, their roots go down. And
well, that's kind of what happened in the Soviet era. A lot of people got apartments through the government, right? And then after that,
after the collapse,
everybody started selling it and making money, right? So, and I understand that, and you have to be careful with that. And this is not to, say that they're going to do that, but you have to be careful. Like I said, the point of this is that we don't want them to feel like now because they're displaced, all of a sudden they're going to be welfare or they're going to be poor. No, we want them to succeed. We want them to work. We want them to, because listen, somebody who's been working all their life, which I'm sure most of them are, in Artsakh, you don't want them all of a sudden to, not have anything to do, which will lead to alcoholism for men, which will lead to domestic violence. Depression, so many things. So we have to keep their morale up. We have to make sure that they're mentally healthy. as tough as it is, we need to figure out a way. And that's why, like I said, giving cash, giving just free. Okay, here you go. Here's a house. Here's a go live. No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Again, that gets spent right away. Sometimes not everyone uses it for what's needed, and they ask for another handout. In terms like once you give cash, it makes it a system, like a welfare system, where it becomes easier for them to do that. Like right now, people need all sorts of aid, right? Hygiene, vital hygiene products, food, blankets. Winter's around the corner, and the winter is going to be unforgiving. And there's homes that don't, it gets freezing cold, and there's places in the border villages they'll burn plastic or all sorts of different stuff that's
Unhealthy.
Yeah,
toxic.
anything to stay warm.
And then imagine all the people living in their cars. So we have to think about that too, and we don't have that much time. We're already in October.
Yeah, and the weather's going to change in Armenia. October, it changes really fast. So can you talk about the vetting system to make sure that you guys aren't dealing with the scammers?
Yeah, so one of the things we have in place is we have a hub in Stepanakert where people come and get the aid that's needed, and they check their passport. They check
Stepanakert, you mean?
I mean Yerevan.
Yerevan, yeah.
That's where my head's at.
It's okay. It's okay.
In Yerevan, where they check their passports and they make sure they're from Artsakh, and goes about what they need. So that's one of the ways. Again, one of the things I forgot to mention too is we have a bunch of therapists on standby as well that we've been sending out to, like the hotel in Albovian and different places we've been helping, because they specialize in PTSD. And, in our culture too, people don't want to talk about it. So we have this negative.
Yeah. Especially with men.
Yeah.
The macho.
Yeah, like a lot of people see it as a weakness, but after experiencing what they experienced there for 3 years, from
having
2020,
to talk to somebody,
the blockade, and like unimaginable things, and you don't want that to kind of harbor inside of them, and then it affects them later down the line or different parts. And there's some people, you even see it now, some of the effects, unfortunately, and so sending those out for people that want to have that conversation or get help, and just help them get back on their feet as soon as possible. And not just that, to have them know they're not alone.
Yeah.
And some of the people, like, for example, the Artsakh is being housed at the Popik's house. They were shocked that people from the diaspora are donating and helping out, and they just, more than just receiving what they needed, was just the fact that people are carrying around the world. It kind of gives them more strength, gives them hope. And I shared that one story that kind of was a sign of hope. I don't know if I should say it now, but
if you feel like you should, go ahead. It's up to you.
So the flyer we have out, where it has the 3 kids, I believe it was taken in 2020.
The same one we used.
Yes.
The picture. Let me bring that up on the screen, actually, while you're telling this story. Go ahead.
These 3 kids, obviously we had no idea, what happened, where they are. And to make a long story short, one of our members in Veterans of Armenia was walking and found 2 of the kids, which are brothers. They have a little sister as well. And he secured an apartment for them. Apartment was empty, so Veterans of Armenia and Hayk for Our Heroes, we got the rollover beds, aid, food, stuff like that. But he was able to secure it on his own for the apartment. Him and his girlfriend they're doing an incredible job out there, and I don't think they want to be named, so I'm going to leave them nameless. But this
first name basis.
Leave him alone.
social media.
People need, I believe in people who are doing amazing work. They need to be recognized, and they're all heroes. You guys are heroes for what you're doing. But that is amazing. If you guys saw that I posted, we used, and I asked Tavit to if we can use that same picture. Like you said, it's such an amazing story that, when you guys, like you said, you were trying to figure out a picture to post for the fundraiser. You put these kids, and then you find two of them who are brothers. That is, I mean, it's a movie.
Like needle out of haystack. And the thing was, like, from all the days, like, our team's been staying strong. Obviously there's so much emotions, and we're not sleeping that much, especially with the time difference. We gotta be up pretty late, up pretty early. And
I wanted to ask about that earlier. I'm sure you guys are having communication all day long.
like the first 12 days, the only dead time was 3 to 6 p.m.
Wow.
That was like
that's like the nighttime hours over there when everyone's
yeah.
passed out. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'd keep our phone, even if we did fall asleep. Phone rings, we wake up and straight to it.
Wow.
Again, we don't want to hesitate on anything. There's some stuff that you have to, pull the trigger right away. And make those decisions.
And in an instant like that, let's say there was like I don't know, lack for a better phrase, call it like a red alert situation. How fast are you guys able to make a turnaround for, let's say, I don't know, for hypothetically speaking, for like a particular family or a particular situation, depending on how vast it is, how big it is?
On their needs, for example.
Yeah.
That day. Again, the part of the video, there was a video of, it showed a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the first round that we had in that hub, and that finished. So we already filled up again.
Yeah.
So
and you guys are back at it right away.
We're sitting on, the minute it's depleted, the order's already been put in, and then we just set it up, categorize it, make it easy. And then when they're doing drops or pickups, we find out how many's coming. And you saw like they were separated.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier. I think one of the pictures of the kids, it was a baby laying down.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of their babies just hanging out until the parents get what they need.
Yeah.
There was little kids getting clothes, shoes, socks, and then you see the smiles on their face when they're trying it on. Like, this is,
Yeah. Now, is there a supply shortage as far as, because obviously this big influx of over 100,000 people, where's this coming from? Is there enough of the blankets or in Armenia, like from the stores or the warehouse, or is it something that is being flown from here? Like, what's the process of that?
I've heard socks and shoes are kind of some of the stuff that's been kind of on high demand for some people and organizations as well. But so far, we've been able to get everything we needed. There are a lot of stuff that we are sending out. There's been a few different companies and brands that have reached out that want to donate clothes. And one of them is donating like 2 to 3 pallets of baby clothes, pajamas, stuff like that.
Wow.
I don't have kids, so I didn't know the brand, but they're a big brand. So that's something we're working on with logistics to ship it out in the next coming days. Another company, it was like 400 thin winter jackets that you could fold up into like a pillow bag, travel bag type of situation, which is going to come in very handy with winter around the corner. And then there's been a lot of organizations and individuals doing clothes drives too.
Yeah.
At least 5-7 different ones that I've seen personally. I'm sure there's even more. So some of them are donating it to us as well for us to pass out, and for our team to pass out over there. Some are donating to different organizations, so that's gonna come in handy too. Again, that's not like immediate, but again, that there's a big need for those too.
But the main thing is I think the easiest is to have the funds from here transferred there, the team from there on the ground goes, purchases whatever is necessary. Like I said, we saw for that for the elderly man, you know, you guys got him a fridge, you guys got him a washing machine. You know, I mean, I don't even know how long that washing machine is going to handle 43 people. You know, that's but you know,
that wasn't even something he asked for, by the way. It was, I wanted to get him something because housing 43 people it's not an easy thing.
My God, my kids have sleepovers and I'm having
that's a mid-sized hotel packed.
Yeah, and besides him, even the hotel owner in Abovian and everyone else that we've been communicating with and working with, none of them are gonna kick them out. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, how can you do that? It's like, we're gonna help them get back on their feet. We're gonna help them secure jobs and figure out a more permanent solution. So when I was talking to one of our team members on the ground, I was like, what's something you noticed that they need? Something useful, you know, like not one, it being like a token of appreciation for him opening up his home. And there's a lot of people like that too, but you know, it's not an easy undertaking. So she's like, I know they didn't have a fridge and their washing machine broke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, those are two things that could be very useful, especially with that many people, because he has his own family and there's 43 plus, and you never know how many more might add on to it. I wouldn't be surprised within a couple of days there's like 4 or 5 more.
Oh yeah, I mean, if word gets out that like an individual or a certain set of individuals is housing that many people or helping house that many people, it becomes a kind of like a moth to a flame, right? Like they're gonna flock to it.
Yeah. Guys, we have that QR code on the screen. Please scan it. It will take you to Hayk for Our Heroes Instagram page. You'll see the fundraiser. Click on the donate and please donate whatever you can. This is very, very important. The amount that you see that they've collected, like I said, most of it, at least half of it, has been depleted because of everything that they are doing.
I forgot to send you these. So
well, it's like a constant cycle of goods being used and delivered.
So one of the people we're housing at Abovian was Monte Melkonian's chief of staff.
Okay.
Wow.
And those are some of the images of them back
in the days. He actually took the pictures. He got to take these photos with him.
I think there's a couple if you want to.
Oh, wow. Obviously, I can't show this on camera, but that's amazing. Wow, there's Monte. Oh, my God, man.
That's Armenian history right there.
Saying Monte's turning in his grave right now. Oh, my God. It's just unbelievable.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Again, guys,
this is documentary worthy, man.
Yeah. Just looking at that
seriously, bro, like this is documentary worthy. Dude, this is history. This is literally history. That's wild. I wish I could show you guys this.
No, it's not going to show on the
camera. It won't pick up on the camera.
But first of all, I want to thank everybody who's joining us live on YouTube and Facebook and X. Thank you guys. If you're just joining us, we are with the founder of Hayk for Our Heroes organization, Tavit Ohanian. He's a phenomenal human being. He probably hasn't slept in 2 weeks, and every time I know I text you and we talk, you're all over the place. You're doing so much, and we all of us appreciate it. And again, that QR code, I want everybody to scan that QR code. If you're watching us on your mobile device, go ahead and take a snapshot of it, and then go and donate. Please help. And I also want to remind everyone that this Sunday we will be at we'll be doing our hike with Hike with Our Heroes. We're joining forces. We're going to be at Switzer Falls. This is in the
Pasadena area.
well,
more like
La Quiñada area. La
Oh,
Quiñada
yeah,
area.
up.
Yeah, if you are local, please join us. We're going to meet at the parking lot. Here's the address, which is 965 Town Center Drive. This is La Quiñada,
front of
Flint
the
Ridge.
Target.
Yeah, this is the Target parking lot. That's where everybody's going to meet at 9:30. We're going to hang around for about till 10 a.m. and then drive up, and then have a great hike. We want to bring the community together. We're going to have, once we get to the destination of the hike, once we get to the falls, we're gonna talk. We're gonna share stories.
Horovats, manga.
Well, I don't know about that. Some surprises, but
Let's
man, you're just
man, getting excited.
wishful thinking. But again, like the point of this is to come together, and you guys can ask any questions. Maybe you don't understand something, or you're, whatever it is. We're here to share ideas, to connect, and maybe make some love connections, and have some youngsters meet and create new Armenian families and some Armenian, heroes of the future. Yeah. So more Montes. But again, this is this Sunday, 9:30 a.m. We will be there. So, and then the raffle, we want to talk about this raffle. We are donating one of the sculptures. And the way the raffle works is you guys can send $30 through Venmo, which is at Hike for Our Heroes, or through Zelle, which is info@hikeforourheroes.org. The more you donate, the more obviously chances you have to win. And at the same time, if you come to the hike, you will get a free entry as well. So your chances of winning the sculpture is higher. This sculpture is $300. It's a marble sculpture of Najdeh, Garagin Najdeh. If you guys, that's pretty heavy. So I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up. I think the light's not allowing it. I don't know if you can do it. Don't break it. But the way, yeah, there you go. So what this is, guys, if you don't know much about the sculpture, what we did is we wanted to represent Najdeh in a way where this, I know you can't really see it, but this is actually the map of Sunik with the terrain and everything. And he's kind of like almost like coming out of Sunik, and it's pretty heavy. This is all marble, and we have the bronze version as well. Mm-hmm. If you guys want to purchase this, you can go to merherosner.com and purchase it. And from there, use the promo code Artsakh, all capital letters, you get 10% off. And from that 10%, we'll match it and give it to support our heroes, which is Ed and Vegan. So we're doing everything we can on our part to help donate. Like I said, we're trying to do whatever. MedHosting podcast does not make money.
Zero, literally zero, guys.
So we're trying to bring the community together, do whatever we can to help these amazing organizations, and to help. Again, we keep saying these are our brothers and sisters who are Armenian from Artsakh that had to flee, and they need our help right now. This is very, very important.
One thing I want to mention about the hike as well, for the people that are feeling down and they're on the verge of giving up. This is something that they should come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of low morale when you talk to people about everything that's going on. There's a lot of low morale. I mean, I know people go about their daily lives, work, whatnot, etc. But
zombie mode.
Yeah, like some people try and shut it off, right? But they can't. I mean, it's a good opportunity for just people to kind of get involved with like a community of people, right? Who just are sharing the same thoughts and same feelings as everyone else is.
I mean, I can tell you from my experience, like I said, I try to go hiking as much as I can. And I usually, my hiking partner is my 11-year-old daughter. Sometimes my other two come with me as well. But, it gives you clarity. And I've had some of the greatest conversation with my 11-year-old And unfortunately, due to my work schedule, I don't get to see my kids as much as I want to. But these are ways, and it's the same thing. Like I said, you get to connect with people, you get to talk. Everybody will start telling stories. You might even find a friend you haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah,
So again, we want this to be a regular thing. We want people to come together all the time. Even on a weekly basis if possible, and again, it's a Sunday morning. What do you got to do? What are you going to do? Don't party too much the night
don't
before.
drink the night before.
You shouldn't be partying right now because no one's in the mood to party. And just come join us. I think it's going to be great. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you is I know we talked about possibly having one of your team members joining us. Is she going to be able to do that? If not, it's fine. We were trying to get one of the team members to join us live from.
We'll get him on next time.
Armenia. She's yes.
I'm busting his chops about that
one.
We're gonna get you used to this, bud.
But we off air we were talking about the point of this, like I said, is to bring people together, and we titled this as Together for Artsakh, the power of the Armenian global community. I know there's some things happening. Can you talk about that a little bit, about putting something together? That's because when people think of diaspora, they're just thinking Glendale. Diaspora is not Glendale. It's pretty much the entire world.
Honestly, we're kind of spread everywhere. Caught myself with that. So one of my good friends, she's in Armenia right now, but she lives in France, and this is her idea and a couple of her friends, and it's like this global movement campaign. And I can't really talk about it yet, but that's something that's in the works. That's gonna be coming out soon, and we'll update everyone throughout the process and when it's gonna be launched. And I love the idea, so I can't really share much more.
But it's something that's gonna be almost like it's a global event,
yes,
right? It's a global community where. Again, we can't really, unfortunately, we can't really talk about it, but I'm excited. But this
basically be on the lookout.
Yeah,
follow them.
Yeah,
be on the lookout.
Follow Hayk for Our Heroes. They'll announce everything, and we'll announce it as well. But this just shows that this generation, what they're doing, the ideas, and these are great ideas. Unfortunately, I feel like one of the biggest problems we have as Armenians is we're always late to the game. These are things that should have been done long time ago. And when I say long time ago, I'm talking about our parents, their parents. I think sometimes as a culture we get too comfortable, and we depend on other people too much. We depend on other nations, so-called allies. And one of the allies that we depended on or got fooled by, for some people say, last 30 years, I say last 200 years, because if you know anything about history, we have been constantly used by a certain ally. But at the same time, we have to be careful with these new allies that we are reaching our hand to, because they have their own interests as well. Allies don't come because they like us, because they are
what they can get from you.
There was always an interest. We all know this, so we have to be careful with what we're doing. We have to become selfish as a nation, as a people. We have to worry about the future of Armenia, future of Artsakh, to become a strong nation from every aspect: technology, education, economy, so many things. We have to become a strong nation, and one of the major strengths we need is our military. Without a strong military, I mean, we were fooled by that facade of the past 30 years with the parades and this and that, but unfortunately, it was all gimmicks. So we need to rebuild. And this is, and one thing I want to say to everyone, I know as human beings, we tend to want instant gratification. We want things to happen right away. We're used to the Amazon era where you press it, it's here the next day. Life doesn't work that way. As hard as this is, and as tough as the situation is, we have to be strong,
Persistent, resilient.
Thank you. And it's going to take time, guys. This is not going to happen overnight. Right now, the number one thing we need to worry about is these families. We need to make sure that they do not leave Armenia. They don't end up becoming a diasporan. Because once they do that, then forget it. They most likely will never
go back.
Yeah. So, and besides that, we have to make sure that they get housing, they get jobs, they work, and then once that's settled, then we'll worry about the next steps.
We have a lot of steps.
And there are some amazing organizations who are working on those steps. But again, we have to be patient. Governments are going to come and go. Pro Pashinyan, against Pashinyan, doesn't matter, guys. These people come and go. People sign things. They've signed things thousands of years ago. Where are they now?
It almost feels like it's optics.
Yeah. Our mission is to be a strong country, strong nation in the very near future. And that's what we need to concentrate on.
Well, just like any story that involves, let's say, government or whatnot, it always begins and ends with the people.
Yeah.
It's not them. They can sign whatever they want. This goes for any country, any creed, any whatever. It always begins and ends with the people.
Of course.
You get enough people riled up to do the right thing. We are the sleeping giants.
Yeah.
This is the bottom line. Our diaspora is the sleeping giant. It's not a government. Government signs a document and then what?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, by the way, because
it's true.
The people always have the power.
Absolutely, they do.
I feel like people forget that.
100%
If we have enough people on the same page and we have that true unity, it doesn't matter what our...
Not to open up a can of worms, but if you really think about it, people, regular citizens, outnumber government 5,000 to 1. In other cases, more than that. So what's the problem? Right? And that's a rhetorical question. Again, it all begins and ends with us, not governments.
Yeah. No.
And I'm not sitting here calling for revolution or anything, but it's true.
Well,
like, you want change? You
know what
happen.
we need?
People make it happen.
We need a mental revolution.
Yeah,
we need
absolutely.
People to wake up. We've been sleeping for a long time. We've been comfortable for a long time. And,
emphasize on community as well.
Yeah.
Because how, like,
togetherness,
all these
man.
years, like, how many different community events and community...
If governments like to control their populations by divide and conquer, which we always talk about, divide and conquer being an age-old tactic. So how do you counter divide and conquer? Community, togetherness. That's what they can't stand. There's your solution.
And what they do is they make the people turn on one another.
Absolutely.
They control certain narratives, they do certain things, and they allow the people to turn on while they sit back and watch.
Yeah. And Susie, you couldn't have said it better. Let's wake up spiritually and make God our leader. And no one in the world can touch our nation. That is true. Armenians have walked away from God. We have forgotten what it is to be Christian. We claim that we are the first Christian nation. We raise that flag everywhere. We tell it to everyone that's not an Armenian. But how many people are actually truly Christian? How many of them actually go to church or again, you don't have to go to church, but actually pray and actually know the Bible or are a true Christian and love thy neighbor and all this stuff.
Togetherness, community, strength.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is the bottom line. It doesn't preach division.
Yeah.
It doesn't preach anything like this.
Another comment from Edgar Akopian, education. I've mentioned this 1,000
Yeah,
times. We need to educate our new generation the right way. So in 20 years, our next generation is the future that we want for Armenia. Thank you, Edgar. That is so true. I've, I did a video when I was in Armenia. The last day we were about to fly out, and I just wanted to give my thoughts. And those of you who haven't seen it, you guys can go on Instagram and watch it. But, everything I saw, I traveled the entire country, and I saw a lot of good, but I saw a lot of bad. And in the good, in the bad, everything that I saw, one thing I realized is education is so important. Even the smartest people that they think they're smart still need education.
And giving them the tools.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's building institutions.
And that's a lengthy process.
Yeah.
But that's a lengthy process that needs resilience and persistence.
Yeah.
You need to continue this decade after decade to have this instilled in your, that's the grassroots movement.
Yeah. Yeah. Armand, you're right. Being a Christian nation doesn't mean anything. Well, it kind of does. It's not about being a Christian nation. It's about being close to God. It's believing in God, believing in a higher power. But you are correct. Having a strong military and political influence is what Armenia needs. Without the military, we're nothing. And allies, political influence, lobbying. We have, a friend of ours, Robert Torosian, you know him as well. Robert has been preaching this for the past 3 years. We have wasted so much money on things here where we could have hired the most amazing firms, lobby firms, to lobby for us in the government. And we haven't done it. And there's a lot of big organizations, I'm not going to name them, but who are sitting on millions and millions of dollars and not doing anything. And that money could be used towards these lobbies, these institutions, politicians, to help for our interest. Because listen, end of the day, politics is a give and take game, right? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Yep. That's what it is. So to all those organizations out there, those hundreds of millions of dollars you're sitting on, what is that for? What was the point of that? You've raised that money through Armenians, right? Through our hard work, our sweat and tears, right? So you're sitting on that to do what? This is the time we need to use it. There's a lot of organizations that say this is all for Armenia. Well, what are you doing for Armenia? You're the diaspora. You're the one with the connections. You're the one who's here, especially being in the U.S. What are you doing? We have these puppet politicians, so-called, who are so caught up in the, just trying to go up the ladder of politics. They don't really care.
No.
So it is time for everybody to wake up and come together. This is very important. I
actually want to give a shout out to Center for Truth and Justice as well.
Oh yeah. Wow.
They
are an amazing group of Armenian lawyers who are just, I don't know if you follow them, but they are really, really doing. If you guys don't follow them, go on Instagram. It's Center of Truth and Justice.
Yeah.
Just look him up and these young women and men, they're gonna do some amazing things. Yeah, they're not messing around. They're not messing around. They are going to, again, I don't know how much this was it Rome? What do we just? I forget the terminology. Rome statue, is that what it was that we just Armenia just they passed it in the parliament.
What do you mean?
The is that what it was called? I know I'm blanking on it right now. I think it's called the Rome statute, right? It's the one where certain nations who cannot do international trials towards certain, war crimes, and it's a
Okay.
group that was created, I think, in 2001. So we just joined that, which is basically going to give Armenia ability to be able to go after Aliyev or his head honchos to basically for war crimes. The drawback of that is it's the same organization which has 50 something countries in there has the arrest warrant for Putin. So that's why Russia was like saying this is the worst move you've made. This is not a friendly move. This and that, whatever. But I think this will also help with these other organizations to have a case
Yeah.
to go.
Empower.
Yeah, but
The reason I
let's
want to
see.
mention all of that too is because the title was Global Armenian Community. And
Yeah.
I think there's so much potential for everyone to come together.
Yeah,
And I think it just needs time and
Yeah.
guidance. And
listen. End of the day, if you think about it, our enemy took 30 years to educate themselves, to lobby. Yes, they had the advantage of oil money, but doesn't matter. They changed their mindset. They built their army. We have a diaspora that can, if everybody donates $100 a month, which is nothing, that is going to be more than what the oil money that Azerbaijan has to help with the military.
Well, that's only going to last so long. You remember?
Well, yeah, he's running out of oil and gas.
Well,
but-
beyond that, remember Hamlet when he was on?
yeah,
Remember what he said? He said an absolutely 100% true thing. And again, I'm not trying to get into like geopolitic conversation, but he's spot on. The type of system that Azerbaijan has, totalitarian.
yeah,
You have that many people up top, and then you have whatever you want to call them.
yeah,
At some point, you have 9.8 million people who will stand up and wake up against that many people. It can't sustain itself. And again, let's all hope that happens sooner than later. But that's not a nation that could sustain itself the way it's whatever path it's going down. They need to cause all their damage now, or else they can't. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this into a political conversation, but that's my optimism towards it, is at some point, their whatever power they have, their lobbying power,
Yeah.
whatever the case is, that's all going to run out.
Yeah.
Whoever's collecting right now is collecting because they can.
yeah. Armon, to your point, yeah, you're right. We Armenians in general did call them sheep. But here's the thing. All
I was
those
trying to be nice.
No. He brings up a good point, but I want to mention something. You have to remember something. For the past 30 years, we have been lied to from previous governments that Armenia had the strongest army. We had the most advanced weapons.
We had our own internal propaganda, and we still
Yeah.
do.
And they lied to us. We didn't have any of that stuff. So we did get cocky, but they realized that, that let them keep doing their thing. They got westernized with their military. I mean, they have 5th generation military right now. They spent the money in the right places. They lobbied. But our leaders were holding hands with an ally that has screwed us over for over 200 years. And they did again. So, again, you can't blame the people for acting the way they did because they were believed to be a certain way. They were lied to. So, but hey, it's an unfortunate lesson that's being learned.
To your last comment, we're still here, aren't we? Or else we should have been wiped out, right? After how many centuries of everything that we've endured? Just saying.
Yeah, Armon's on a roll today.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. But I mean, he's making points. He is. We've all had the same conversations, but we're still here. We haven't disappeared.
Yeah. Well, if you need to ask a question, which ally screwed us over? I mean, you need to go read our history. But anyways, moving on. Let's I didn't want to jump into the whole politics and all that stuff, but so where are you guys going from? What's the future of any other projects coming up with Hike for Our Heroes that you can talk about? And I know with veterans of Armenia as well.
Yeah. Let me start with Veterans of Armenia. There's a few different ongoing projects that's year round. It's not something new. One of them is the Home for Heroes project. It's with veterans that participated in the 44-day war or just completed their full term with the PANAK and that got injured in a way where they're wheelchair bound, and basically it renovates their home to make it compliant. So the entrance, exit, bathroom, shower, all that stuff. So it's completely renovated for them to be able to access it.
Okay.
There's a scholarship program for veterans. We had a Artsakh karate project too, which was really beautiful with teaching fitness and martial arts, karate, and I don't even have to explain all the benefits that comes with like leadership skills, confidence, self-defense, and just being fit. Like you feel good, you look good, you do good. That's like the mottos a lot of people use. So they have a lot of ongoing projects. There's some projects that aren't really broadcasted, but again, come to the hike this Sunday. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm sure there's going to be more members from both organizations there. You could go pick their brain, ask stuff that isn't something we could talk about on social media or just put out there. And with Hike for Our Heroes as well, we were currently fundraising for the Goris Water Reservoir project in Verishen. And we still have the fundraiser up in our Instagram, but we haven't been pushing it at all given the circuit.
Obviously, it's understandable. This is an emergency situation. This is what, we need to concentrate on this.
Yeah. So right now, there's some stuff still going on. Our focus is right now to help the displaced, with housing aid, get them back on their feet ASAP. Also, there's things to do, right? And we were saying that this is a priority, but we need to, help the military, help the borders, secure the borders, help the border villages grow, create, an infrastructure, education, all this stuff where people want to live there, move there, stay there. And the thing is, we don't know exactly what the full government's plan is right now in terms of housing. I don't really personally have hopes in what they're going to do. But I don't want to get political right now, but the places they are giving them is around the eastern border. And there's a lot of people that don't want to live there, and rightfully so. After going through what they did for 3 years in a row of 2020 war, multiple full-scale attack right now, almost 10 months of blockade, food, medical supplies.
Yeah, it could break people, man.
Imagine losing everything and then moving to another area that's still like places in Vadanis and Soktimech. They're getting attacked regularly too. There's shots, things. We've done projects in that area, a lot of different projects, and we post kind of interviews with people that live there. Short, like some are 40 seconds, some are a minute and a half, something like that. And some are with the mayor, some are with the villagers, and they're all different questions. So it's not the same ones. It's like, what's your daily life like at nights? In the border villages, or what's life like after this is completed? Now that you have running water, clean running water that you could access, and you don't have to get it from a neighboring village or from the ground, or and you could really put a face to it. And some of the stories, you see the resilience. Like there's this one particular person in Sokt where we did what was the recent project? We did a sheep. We got 10 families sheep. So, in 5 months, the 3 sheep with 2 female, 1 male will turn to anywhere from 9 to 15.
Wow.
Something like that. So it's like an investment in a way.
Yeah.
So like, we were talking about we're against people just giving cash.
Yeah.
Say we were to give the cash for the 3 sheep. What happens? That gets spent, it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
But then the sheep multiplies over
Of
time.
course.
Yeah.
They could use it for milk, cheese, wool,
That keeps on giving.
resources. They could help their neighbors. They could give them sheep so they could, have something sustainable as well.
Yeah.
But this one particular guy, he had 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. And the smile he has kind of like resonates with you through the video. Like you feel like you're there in front of him talking to him. And one of the questions was like, what's it like with the noises, with the, shots and artillery? And he's like, it happens on a daily basis, and the kids are inside. They all lie to them, like it's something else. Don't worry about it. And they're so resilient and strong that they don't want to move. They're like, we're here. This is where we grew up. This is where we're going to stay through all of that. So like, I think one of the key things is to empower those people because they're in those critical zones and they don't want to move. But again, going back to, I kind of got off topic a little bit, but with the displaced not wanting to live there, it's like, imagine losing your home, losing everything, and then moving to another place that's not safe. It's on the next target. Everyone's saying Sunik is next. And the Geragonik region, that's another place where it's going to be simultaneously. And it's like, imagine trying to set up shop and permanently move somewhere and you believe that it's going to happen. So you can't blame them either. Like, they deserve, the kids are being robbed of their childhood.
Yeah.
They're not going to school. Say they go to school in Yerevan, for example.
Yeah, right. Like it's like they're constantly on the run.
Completely new classmates, completely new people. They lost their friends. God knows who they're friends with that lost, that were killed during the attacks. So,
well, I can tell you this much: when I was in Armenia, and I got to visit they call it the Hero House or Zimvoritun, the soldier house. I got to see a lot of Armenian soldiers who were, wounded and missing limbs and this and that. But one of the things is I noticed that any sound that would trigger something they experienced, they were constantly like looking around like this, and that PTSD is someone might never get over it. Yeah. So for them, like you said, bordering towns, just the sound of, can you imagine, like, they have constantly heard those sounds of the drones, those motors, and that sound can be created by anything.
Yeah.
And the slightest resemblance just brings it back. And you just reminded me another ongoing project. VOA has a PTSD program. Okay. We have therapists that help with the veterans and their families cope with trauma, PTSD, and again, we were talking about the culture of it too, where the men especially, it's not something they want to talk about. It's not even something they want to be seen walking into the office. So most of it is at home. So they're sent there so they feel more comfortable to open up and share. And then there's even cases where the family is affected more than the veterans themselves. So there's a lot of amazing projects too. So
yeah. Halaladzes. That's all I can say. You guys are doing amazing work. Again, everybody, please scan that QR code. Donate to Hike to Our Heroes. They have teamed up with Veterans of Armenia. If you guys don't know anything about Veterans of Armenia, these guys are phenomenal. I mean, the things they're doing is just, go on their website, just look at it. It is, again, this is not the time. We got to stop picking on one another. Can we please, we need to unite. Guys, this is our biggest problems as Armenians. We start criticizing one another. If you're not going to help, you're not going to do anything about it, then stay out of it. Stay out of it. We don't want your opinion. Go live your life. Go do whatever you want to do. But if you care about what's happening, you want to be part of this community, then help. Now, it doesn't have to be financial, but do something about it. Don't just sit there and criticize or expect other people to do it. And then when other people do it, you criticize by not liking the way they did it, but at least they did something. So we need to stop doing this.
And it's not with just monetary even. It's you have a certain skill set.
Anything.
Bring it to an organization that needs it.
Yeah.
All of us need more help.
Yeah.
You know, like Hayk for Heroes could use it. Veterans of Armenia could use it. Center for Truth and Justice could use it.
Yeah.
Like literally every organization. If you're a content creator, you're a social media person, you're a videographer, you're a lawyer, you're accountant, you're, you know.
And I mean, that's kind of what the world's going on right now, right? Is content. It's information. I mean, look, it sounds cliche now. It's information warfare.
Well, look at what they did.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Propaganda.
No.
100%.
I mean, it was all content. That's all it was. So that's another thing, another front we need to really, really fight on and bring in these young kids who are good at social media, who are good at, you know, creating amazing content and putting it out there. One of the biggest problems, and I've talked about this many times, is we don't tell our stories the right way. We don't tell our stories. And the biggest problem is, even if we do tell our stories, we tell it within our own community. We don't bring the outside community. We don't bring the Hispanic community. We don't, when we do festivals, the Horovats festival, we don't bring them. We don't promote to them. We keep it within ourselves. The churches, what do? When, you know, do they do any homeless drives? Do they do any community events? No, it's all about within our community. You can't ask for help if you're going to be selfish. You can't just think about yourself, keep it within your community. I mean, I get it. We're more of a conservative, you know, people, but that's not how it works. You live in the United States. We need to bring other communities. They need to learn about us, who we are as Armenians, our history. People don't know they have no idea they're one of the oldest living civilizations.
Even our culture. There's so many people that will fall in love with our culture or heritage food or dance, everything.
But that's the thing. You have to tell your story and you have to tell it the right way.
To the right audience. Too.
The right, the audience will come to, if you tell the story right way, the audience will listen. So, anything else you want to mention?
Not that I could think of.
Okay. All right. Well, we've been chatting for almost hour 45 minutes. I know you got things to do, and I know Mike has a hockey game to go to.
It's all right, bro. He's gonna come back on. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
he's in part 2, part 3, part 10.
Yeah.
We're used to this.
So again, I want to mention, guys, I'm going to put this up Sunday. We will be at Switzer Falls. This is a hike with Medhosnet and a hike for our heroes. We are also, and it'll be Sunday 9:30 a.m. We're going to be meeting at that address right there, which is the parking lot of Target in Lockheed Flintridge. We're going to meet there, hang out for about half an hour till everybody gets together, and then we're going to go up and park and start hiking. This is about coming together. It's going to be a good event. We're also doing a raffle for our Garagi Najde sculpture. It's $30 for entry. You can send your payment through Zelle, which is info@hikeforourheroes.com, or Venmo, which is @hikeforourheroes. The more you do entries, the more chances you have to win. And all these donations, these raffles, will go for the amazing work that Hike for Our Heroes is doing. And if you come to the hike, you'll get a free entry as well. So we want to see everybody there. If you're local, please come join us.
And we'll draw the winner on Monday because we already posted the cutoff time is at midnight.
There you go. Yeah. Midnight, Sunday night.
We'll draw the winner Monday night. We'll probably do a live recording of the spinning the the wheel.
The wheel,
So
spinning the wheel.
keep showing that transparency. So
Okay. And then again, you have that QR code on the top corner. Please go ahead and scan that. It will take you, and we have the QR code on the main screen. It will take you to Hayk to our for our heroes Instagram. That's where the fundraiser is happening. Donate, 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 please. If like I said, again, we are donating from our Patreon, people who are on Patreon helping us for the past 6 months, everything that we've gotten, which isn't much. We are donating $500 to you guys. Those of you who want to follow us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/medhedosnet and help us by becoming a Patreon. It starts at $5.
And more to come with the statues.
Yeah. And then, like we announced, we will be doing an exclusive Hayk Nahapet sculpture for Hayk for Our Heroes. This will be a limited edition, and all the profits will go to Hayk for Our Heroes.
I already started on it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you.
Thanks. When it's ready, we will post it, and we'll open up the pre-orders, and then once they are ready, we'll start shipping them. But the good thing about the pre-orders is that when they place the pre-order, those profits will get to pass them on to you guys, and that way you guys can do what you do. So we are excited. Anything else I'm forgetting? Am I forgetting anything? No. Okay. Now, I again, like I said, guys, we are taking a break from our regular podcast episodes as far as history goes. We just feel like it's not the time right now because we're putting all our energy and efforts into our community, helping great organizations like Hayk for Our Heroes, Veterans of Armenia, support our Armenian heroes, to help with the situation in Artsakh, or not Artsakh, the displaced families from Artsakh. Artsakh will always be Artsakh. Remember that. Okay, it's never gonna. They can call it whatever they want. Those are Armenian lands. They will always be Armenian lands, and we'll get it back. We'll get it back. It says,
is that based off of the scan?
No, you have to. The scan will take you guys to the Instagram, and
unless it might be in a different country, maybe something to do with donations unavailable in your location. It says,
so we've been experiencing that problem in the UK, Dubai, and even Armenia. There's been people in Armenia reaching out trying to donate.
MS, where are you located, if you don't mind us asking? Maybe if you can answer that, maybe Tavit can help you out.
If that doesn't work, then you can go to hikeforourheroes.org and donate through there, right?
Yeah, we also actually created a link. We'll post it. It's going to be on Veterans of Armenia's page and Hayk for Our Heroes, where it's like, I don't know the proper terminology. I'm not that tech savvy at all, but takes you to a donation page strictly for this fundraiser.
Okay.
For people that don't have social media, that are in the parts of the countries where they're unable to donate. Plus, unfortunately, something went wrong with the link with Facebook, so it hasn't even been linked to Facebook at all. So everything, it's been just
so for the time being, what you can do is, if you want to donate, and if you're outside of the US, you can just go to that. Follow Hayk for Our Heroes. They'll post the link. And then the other way is you can, I don't know if they have Zelle, if Zelle is only US or if it's international.
Yeah, I think Zelle is US.
What about
US
Venmo?
Banking
is
thing.
Venmo?
Yes, it's a US thing.
Okay. All right, then just follow them. Instagram, follow them on Instagram. They'll have it ready for you guys. And thank you, MS, for
their Instagram page posted.
Well, that QR code takes them to their
Okay.
And he is in India. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. But besides that, I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight on this special live episode. Our guest is Tavit Ohanian from Hayk for Our Heroes. And we want to make sure we see all of you guys who are local in on Sunday.
Yeah, come on out on
9:30
Sunday,
a.m.
guys.
for a great
Come
hike.
on.
I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
It is gonna be fun. And I want to thank you guys too
Wow,
for
man.
everything. Having us on here, the donation, the sculpture, like
Hey man,
you-
it's thanks
Listen,
to
it's
you, man.
nothing to
It's
what you
thanks
guys
to
are
you
doing.
and what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But what we're doing pales in comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. So well, we truly appreciate you. You're an amazing human being, and the people that you're associated with, everybody here and in Armenia, are heroes. You guys are truly
Yeah.
heroes for what you're doing. Not a lot of people would take the time to even consider. So thank you again. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So we're gonna call it a night, and make sure you follow us on Instagram at Medherosnej. We will hopefully be back with another episode. We're working on some special guests to join us to talk about the current situation. But we don't know when that will be. Hopefully, it could be next week, the week after that. But for now, like I said, we're reaching out to people and inviting them to be on the show. When that happens, we will announce it. And then hopefully sooner than later, we'll be back with our regular episodes talking about Armenian history, because that's what we love. That's what we do. But as we always say at end of every episode, respect one another.
Love one another.
And until the next episode, take care of yourselves.